Hello, it's me and
Noah.
Noah, the triumphant return of Noah. So I was pulling out this puzzle and decided, this is a normal 3x3. So
Wait,
yeah.
Can I rest my cup on there?
Okay, sure. Now don't put it on too tight.
You mean like this?
Yeah, not like that, because if you do, it might damage the puzzle. It might, uh-oh. Let me see. Oh, Noah, look what you did. Yikes, I think you created something completely new. Well, that looks kind of cool. It's actually got a circle. It's got a little circle along in here. You know what'll make it even more cool?
What?
I think if we batted it down a little bit, like this. Aha! There we go. Now we've made something completely different. We've made a circle 3x3x2. Crazy 3x3x2. Yeah. I bet you can help me solve this one. What do you think of that?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Do you know how to solve this? Well, believe it or not. Maybe?
I think so.
Believe it or not, this puzzle is actually a combination of two puzzles, and it's not as difficult as it might look. Because what you see in here, see the circle? See how it seems to move independently with this? Well, this puzzle over here, this side has it bandaged here, but this side over here seems to move. This over here is actually the same puzzle as this. A 3x3x2. This is a 3x3x1 rather. This is a 3x3x1 surrounded by a 3x3x2. And I bet I can solve this by just doing a combination of this solve and this solve. So in order to solve this, what we're going to do is we're going to go through how to solve this, then how to solve this, and how to put it together in solving this puzzle over here. So Noah, I bet I can teach you how to solve this puzzle over here. You want to try it out? All right, yeah. This is a 3x3x1. So I'm going to turn, and turn. So here's the key to this puzzle. Now it's pretty simple in that it doesn't have any other layers by which it's scrambled against. So here's what I'm going to have you do now. You've got a white side and a yellow side. Don't worry about these corners here. But you see you have a center? Yep. Center white, center yellow. Well, you've got these pieces here. You know what these pieces are called?
Edge.
These, very good. These are edges. And these pieces here?
Centers.
Well, no, this is the center. These are corners. Corners, much you have to learn, young Jedi. So edges and corners. So the very first step in solving this puzzle, is I want to put all of the same colored edges by the center, right? Okay. So I want all the white edges here. So I'll turn this over here, white, here, white. Oh, I accidentally solved it. I think I can do better than that. Oh my God, I'm accidentally solving this puzzle so darn easy.
Yeah.
Jeez. All right. So basically, what I'm going to do is we're going to put all the white edges by the white center. That's it. White edges, white center. So I'm going to turn this in over here and turn this in over here. Now what you're going to get is you're going to get two corners. After you do that, always, you're going to get two corners that are out of place. Sometimes, you'll get all the corners out of place, but you do it the same way. So take two corners that are out of place, put it to your right side, and this movement is going to be a 2R. Yep. And I'm going to say this movement is going to be a up, 2 up. So just go 2R, 2 up, 2R, 2 up, and it will be solved.
I think I got it.
You think you got it? All right, so what we'll do is we'll go ahead and scramble this.
Okay.
And we'll see where things go and how much you've learned and all that good stuff. Okay. Is this a pretty good scramble?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Okay. Show us what you got.
Okay.
So first step, show everybody what you're doing. Okay. You're putting all the edges in, right?
Yep.
You break it, you buy it. Okay, so show what you've done so far.
Look at that.
You got, okay, so you still have to put all the edges in.
Yep.
Ah, you did it. That was too easy. All right, I don't believe you. I think you cheated. You must have taken it apart. Did you take the stickers off? Did you use some magic powers to... Okay, try it again. Well, here. Okay.
The harder the better.
The harder the... That's the spirit.
Okay.
Try that. Get all the edges there. Show what you're doing. Okay. Now that you have all the edges up, you got the two corners that are out, right?
Yep.
So how do you solve that?
R, U, R. Solved.
Aha, and it's solved. Okay, you have now mastered the 3x3x1. You are truly a...
Oh, so it's like the same thing for this cube.
This puzzle here, this center puzzle is actually the same as this. It's a 3x3x1. Because although this seems to be fixed where it is, it's actually tied to this piece over here. So this moves along with this, so it's solved exactly like a 3x3x1. This is solved like a 3x3x2. The main issue with this puzzle is to solve this puzzle is like solving two puzzles in one. So we solve one puzzle, and then as we're solving the surrounding 3x3x2, we have to sync it with the solve of the other puzzle. So we have to solve both puzzles at the same time, sync it up so that they both get solved at the same time. So how do we sync it up? Well, I think it's worthwhile going through how to solve a 3x3x2, right? Because it's a little different. Notice with a 3x3x1, this is one layer that scrambles with each other. Edges get scrambled with each other, corners get scrambled with each other. But you never put an edge in the slot of where, rather a corner in the slot of where an edge is. With this, you have two layers that move, which means you're scrambling both layers in conjunction with each other. And when you're doing that, you have to actually learn how to flip things. So what I'm going to do is go through very quickly how to do a 3x3x2 so you can conquer this. Okay. You ready for this?
Yep.
All right, I'm going to scramble it up real good.
You want me to scramble it just so I know you're not cheating?
That's a good idea. Well, yeah, go ahead. Actually, I've discovered a fast way of doing this. You ready for this?
Yep.
Watch this. Watch this.
Speed
Ready, set, speed cooking. Ready, set, abracadabra. Aha, see, it's a little technique I've built up. All right, you can solve this if you want. Play around with that while I'm solving this over here. So basically, to solve this, it's going to be very similar. We'll start off with edges. Now, much of you probably already know how to do this, but just to kind of review. So I'm going to start off with a base edge. In this case, I'm going to make it white and just kind of put all of my edges in. So here's white and green. The white and blue doesn't go by there because it's not the one that's right next to green. It's the one that's right opposite. If you didn't know that, then you can always just look at a corner piece. Here, this is blue, and you can see the red is over here. So we're okay with that. This orange is going to be opposite the red, so I'm just going to turn this in to line this up, put this in over here, and line this up. So the same thing, I've got my edges in place. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the corners in, place the corners in. That was just much too easy to do, so okay. So the corners are going to come from up here. So here's a white, red, and blue. Red, white, and blue, very patriotic. So this belongs down over here. Where the blue and the red. So to move this down here, it's a corner swapping algorithm. Watch this, it's like magic. 2R, well actually it's not the same algorithm, it's 2R, U, 2R, UI, 2R. And notice that did put this over here. So we're good. Find another corner, here's this. This comes down to red and green here, 2R, U, 2R, UI, 2R, we're good. And finally here, just below over here, we've got 2R, U, 2R, UI, 2R. Piece of cake. This whole side is done, but unlike the 3x3x1, we've got to now put this one in. So how do I fix this layer without messing up this layer? I can't use 3x3x1 techniques. I have to use swapping techniques. Corner swaps and edge swaps. What you're going to find, notice, is you're going to have these two corners in. You're either going to have two corners in, no corners in, or all corners in. When I say in, it means lined up. Now I want you to notice something with this puzzle, something important. If you put these corners that are in to the right, rather to the left side, and do a swapping algorithm, you're going to put all the corners in. 2R, U, 2R, UI, 2R. Turn the puzzle counterclockwise, 2R, UI, 2R, U, 2R. Notice all the corners are in. Now, just to show you, because we're going to be syncing this puzzle, putting it in sync, if I were to do the same thing, only put it in front of me or behind me, the same corner swapping algorithm will merely take these corners, it'll mess up these corners, but it'll put two other corners in, but just different from these two. Because this will come here, this will swap over here. So we're going to end up placing another corner in. In reality, this will come here, this will shift here, and this will shift here. So I think I'm going to have like the red corner in or something, the two reds. So if I hold it in front of me, I'm merely going to put two corners in, but in a different place. I'm going to basically set the puzzle in exactly the same configuration, but with different corners. To our U, to our UI, to our, turn, to our UI, to our U, to R. And what that did is it destroyed the green corners, but just put another corner in somewhere else, these two. The final thing, the final pattern, is if I put this on the right side and do the same algorithm, I'll take all the corners out. To our U, to our UI, to R, turn it here, to our UI, to our U, to R. Notice no corners are in. So why did I show you that? I showed you that because we're going to be syncing when we want both corners in and when we want all corners in. So let's say you want to, you don't want to put this in quite yet. I want to go from another set of cubes and then put it in. To our U, to our UI, to R, turn it here, to our UI, to our U, to R. All right, so we have this over here. Now, if normally if I put it to the right and do that, I'll end up with no edges in. But if I do the opposite algorithm, put this to the right instead of the left, and start off with a 2L, then it can work exactly the same way. So I can go like 2L, UI, 2L, U, 2L. Then we turn it clockwise, then 2L, U, 2L, UI, 2L, and that'll do exactly the same thing. Now the reason why I showed you that is for a very specific purpose. So basically, to conquer this cube over here, it's a combination of both of those solves. The solve of a 3x3x1 and the solve of a 3x3x2. Did you solve it again?
Sort of, yeah.
Sort of. Oh, what you have is you have an interesting configuration that I didn't really show you, where you have everything seems to be fine, but these corners and centers aren't really lined up. You know how to solve this?
I think so.
All right, let me see how you do it. Describe how you're doing it for all of your adoring fans.
So what you do, even though it's all solved, put it up.
So you do it. You just do it to R.
Yeah. The
to
same
U.
thing, to U.
To R.
To R.
To U, and you do it anywhere, right?
Yeah.
And then what do you have?
Turn
you end
to
up.
the right.
Yeah. Well, you end up having two that are out, and then you solve it the same way. So go ahead.
Like it's actually scrambled.
To R. To U, and lo and behold, oh my gosh, you figured it out! Holy cow, that's awesome! Awesome. Yeah. All right, so you're going to help me with this solve.
Okay.
And my promise to all the viewers is no new algorithms. What we did here is exactly what we're going to do here. No strange and bizarre middle moves doing strange and bizarre things. Yeah.
Oh, shape-shifting.
I know. No shape-shifting. We don't have to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scramble it up. Now by scrambling this, I'm going to move it over here, then move it here, 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 and I'm going to try to get it all good and scrambled. Turn it here and here. All right, you want to help me with this part?
Sure.
Abracadabra. Okay, we got it. Now, there's something that we have to look at first before solving this. Now, the reason why this is fixed certain times and not fixed certain times is one of these corners are a latched corner. It latches on and holds on to the circle and drags it with it. We have to figure out which one it is. Well, what you can do is you can just pick corners, and let's see if I turn this up here. It's none of these corners here. So I'm going to turn this over here, and it's one of these corners. So we'll take this one out. Oh, so it's not this one, it must be this one. So for me, the latch corner is white, green, and red. Wherever this corner goes, it holds on to the circle. So I have to bear that in mind, it holds on to the circle.
Yeah? Stop moving that, because I was going to make you pause. It's like, what are you doing right now?
What am I doing?
I thought we were going to solve the cube together.
Yeah, we are.
Oh, you're scrambling it?
I'm scrambling it.
Okay, good.
And I'm telling what I'm doing.
Sorry.
Because if I don't, they're going to say, what the heck is he doing?
Scrambling it.
Yeah, well, I'm scrambling it and describing it because there's a certain way of doing this.
Oh, there's a certain way you have to do
There's a
it.
certain, well, not to scramble, but
Can I scramble it?
oh, you want to scramble it?
Yeah.
I already abracadabraed it. The magic's done.
Oh.
The deed is done.
I'm gonna like record this part.
No, this is going in.
Really?
Oh yeah. All right. So basically, what I'm going to have you do. This inner 3x3x1, this over here is solved exactly like this. So Noah, I'm going to have you solve this for me, but you've got to show everybody what you're doing.
Got it.
So show what you're doing. What are you going to do first?
First off, I saw this like this cube.
No. All right. So you're going to put all the edges to match the center.
Yep.
All right, so you're putting the white edge with a white center, white edge with a white center. Beautiful. Are all the edges in?
Yep.
Okay, now before you go, you're going to find that you have all but 2 corners in.
Yep.
Now the good thing about this is it doesn't matter what these are, because you're not doing the outside, you're just doing the inner circle.
Up, R again, like
Yep.
this one?
Yep, go ahead and do it.
Oh, cool. Oh, delete this part.
Yeah, it's a little catchy, I gotta lubricate it. 2R, good. You got 2 up, right?
Yep.
2R, and
2
up.
Oh, okay.
That's it.
There you go.
You did it. That's all you need to do. You now have solved the inner circle. Unless you think that we made it too easy, that is all you need to do. So that solves the inner circle. So if I were to scramble it again and show it again, just after one lesson of how to solve a 3x3x1, you're able to do that.
Yep.
Strong work.
Oh, this is a 3x3x1?
That's a 3x3x1. So again, you see the white center. I'm going to put all of the white edges in. The outer colors don't mean anything, so it's easier than that. Put this in here. That was too easy. Okay. So put this in here. And now we're going to solve these two. We're going to solve, who was that masked man? We're going to solve these two over here. Turn it to the right, 2R, 2 up, 2R, 2 up. And we have the circles here, and we have the circles here, and it's all solved. So the first part is done, and now we're going to sync up the surrounding 3x3x2 with this. We're going to solve the 3x3x2 that surrounds the 3x3x1. And we have to sync this up. So what we're going to do is find where our latch corner was, which was over here. This is our latch corner. So wherever this goes, this will hold the center where it is. If I put it here, if I move it here, it'll hold the center. So we need to make sure that to solve the 3x3x1, so that the center stays exactly where it is and never gets re-scrambled, this must stay on the bottom layer. Luckily, most of my algorithms do R moves and U moves, and we don't do a lot of L moves. We just have to make sure we're not turning this into the algorithm at all. So the next part is I'm going to make sure that this is down here, and I want to put in the edges, put in the outer edges. So we've already got the inner ones. I'm going to put in the edges that are right next to this center here. Now remember, whatever move I do, I don't want to end up moving this up either this way or this way. So I don't want to do a 2F or a 2L move. So where's the white? Well, the white one is... So I have to find the green and white. Green and white is over here, so I need to get this over to here. What I'm going to want to do is move it to the top layer first so that I can move it into position here. So I'm going to take this side, and I can do a 2R move because it's not going to affect this up here. So move this up, bump this out of the way to get this at the top, and move it down. So I didn't mess this up at all. Now to get this into here, you'd think that maybe what I can do is just turn this over here and move it in, but I'm going to be dragging the center with me because I took this one up. Don't want to do it that way. So what I'm going to do to keep this down here is I'm going to move the center up over here with an M move, a middle move. So I'm going to move the middle in here, then take this green and white, put it into here, and move it down. So we're doing well. Now I want to put the red one in here. So the red circle edge is right over here. So in the back here, I'm going to want to move this one up. So to do that, I'm just going to turn it up, bump it out of the way, and then to get my 3x3x1 back, turn this back down. Now I'm going to do the same thing. Now again, for here, I can't turn it from here, I can't do 2L because it'll move this one up, so I'm going to have to move the center up, do an M move. So do a M slice across here, move this into place so that this is where it needs to be, and bring it back. This is basically supercube strategy. So I have this in and I have this in. So now what I want to do is I want to find the center that comes over to here. It's going to be the one that's across from red, which is orange, this one. To put this one down, I don't have to do an M move because number one, if I did, I'd mess this one up. Number two, it doesn't involve this piece here. So because of that, I can do to move it into the place, into over here, just like with any supercube, do a 2R, then move this into place here, and then move it down. So now I've got this one in. Last is purple. Find the purple up here, which is here. I can do a 2B move to move this into place because it doesn't involve this. Move this up, turn this blue one in to where it's supposed to be, and I'll move this back down. So what you're going to have is you're going to have all the centers where they need to be. All the centers are in and where they need to be, and we didn't offset this. So next is corners. Now, here's the thing with the corners. When I did the corner swaps here, I could put a corner in, then I can move this, do another corner in. I can have pretty good variability and variations of each side. Here, I can't. I can't because when I do that algorithm, 2RU, 2RUI, 2R, what you didn't see on this is there actually is something of a placement parity that happens. If there's middle layers, you'd see that. For instance, when if I take this and swap it with this over here, 2RU, 2RUI, 2R, it'll swap it, but it also creates placement parity over here. You see that when there's a middle layer, but you don't see that when there's not. So putting this back here will fix this placement parity. 2RU, 2RUI, 2R. It's actually not a parity, it's really just a misplacement. This middle circle will experience that kind of a placement parity. So if we orient this to where this is on the left side, to put this down, if I do that swap, it's going to cause placement parity of these two layers here. 2RU, 2RUI, 2R. Notice it causes this to be out of alignment, which normally should be okay because if I just move another one in here, another corner, it'll fix that. But if I put one in, I can't move it to another area because it's going to take this out of alignment. So 2RU, 2RUI, 2R. So let me show you what that means. This is a red and blue. Let's put this right above the area it's supposed to be, which in this case is over here. Now this is the area that causes, this is the latch area, and we wanted to keep it down here. If I were to move this down here, it's going to cause things to get messed up over here. These two are going to swap. So what can I do to get this down here without causing swapping? Well, if I move this out of the way and put a dummy one in, put like a disguised one in, get the parity in there, get the misplacement, and then turn this back and then put it in, I'll undo what I just did. So it's a way of priming it. So take the one that belongs down here, move it out of the way, and in this case with the corners, it doesn't matter where the latch corner is, because I'm just going to undo everything that I did. So let's put a random one down here, 2RU, you see it dragged it, 2RUI, 2R. Okay, so what that did is it did create kind of a misplacement of our inner 3x3x1, but it doesn't matter because now I'm going to take this piece, move it in where it belongs, and now I'm going to put this down here, which will fix whatever we did over here. 2RU, 2RUI, 2R. And lo and behold, all this is back, and I put this in. So we'll keep following around. Okay, so this is the green and orange, which goes here. I don't want to just move it in because I'm going to create placement parity that I can't get out of. Once I move this in here, if I try to move this to another area, I'm going to take that placement parity, misplacement, and move it around. So I'm going to move this out of the way first and put a dummy one in over here to prime it. 2RU, 2RUI, 2R. Now that I've done that, I'm going to put this into position, which will place this down here and fix this misplacement. 2RU, 2RUI, 2R. So now this is it. And what you're going to do is you're going to end up solving the bottom portion. Once we've done that, now we have to get the top part. So this is what I mean by syncing the puzzle. Putting the puzzle in sync. I have to solve this top part now, at the same time solving this this middle 3x3x1, or at least not screwing it up. So I have to coordinate the solving of these with the continued solving of this, or keeping this in place. So find the two corners that are in, which is over here. Now what I'm going to do actually is to do a corner swap, I have to take my latch corner and put it back over here, back into the left. Because if I do an R move to R, U, to R, UI, to R, then I have to turn it this way. I'm going to be engaging my latch piece, which I don't want to do. So I can put it over here. And if I put this to the left, do that algorithm, to R, U, to R, UI, to R, move it over here, I'm not going to be touching this latch area. The problem is, if I do that, I'm going to end up misplacing this stuff over here. So let's say I tried to do that algorithm. I'm going to try to put all of the corners in to our U, to our UI, to R, turn it over here, to our UI, to our U, to R. Great, we put this in, we've even solved it, but this is all messed up. So is there a way to coordinate it better to where I don't have to worry about that? Well, let's get it back. Okay, so we have these corners back here. Find our latch area, which is here. So what we're going to want to do is consider that if I hold it over here and I move it over to here and do that algorithm, I'm going to just create another corner, one set of corner pieces at another area. And I'm going to create my placement issues, my misplacement. If I then turn it over here and put my corners on this side, on the right side, do the opposite algorithm, I'll not only put all the corners in, but I will have fixed whatever I put in over here. So here's what I mean. On the very last steps here, when you've got all this in and you have one corner, go ahead and position your latch piece to the back left, put this in front of you, and do the adjacent corner swap, the way you would normally do this with the two corners that are in front of you, to our U, to our UI, to R, turn counterclockwise, to R, UI, to R, U, to R. Once you do that, turn it twice. So we're over here, go ahead and turn it clockwise again. Here's the corners that are in, move this to the right side, and now do the opposite algorithm to the left. What that'll do is it'll fix this, and it'll put all my corners in. So that's going to be to L, UI, to L, U, to L, and now turn it clockwise, instead of counterclockwise, clockwise, to L, U, to L, UI, to L. And that will fix this and put all the corners in. So you're almost there. Now, edges. How do I sync up the edges with this here too? Well, here's the good news. There is no parity problems in this puzzle. It doesn't exist. It's impossible because you don't reduce it from one parity, an even parity, to another parity, an odd parity. So it will automatically need a set of even numbered swaps. So maybe you'll have 1 in and 3 out, or you'll have all 4 out. Suffice to say, you're always going to flip one and then flip another. In this case, this is where that looks like. So find two that can be swapped. It can either be an opposite edge swap or adjacent edge swap. It really doesn't matter. You're going to cause placement issues, misplacement or placement parity the first time, then you'll get it in the next time. In this case, let's do an adjacent edge swap to our U. Whoop. Okay. Now, here's where you have to be careful. Always make sure you do not cause the latch corner to participate in the algorithm. So I'm going to hold this here. You can hold it to the left or to the back right, the back left rather. It doesn't matter because you're not going to be using L moves, only R moves. So I'm going to swap these two. To our U, to our U, to our, to U, to R, to U, to R, U, to R, UI, to R. it puts these two in. We've created misplacement here, but we're about to get that right back by positioning these two and doing an adjacent edge swap. To our U, to our U, to our, to U, to our, to U, to our U, to our UI, to R, and your crazy 3x3x2 is solved. It's done. No new algorithms, no new strategies. All you had to do was sync the solve of one puzzle, which is the 3x3x1, with another puzzle, which is the 3x3x2, using placement and strategic use of algorithms so that you can get it in the, so that you can sync up one solve with the other. So that is how you do it. We'll bring in all the other stars of the show. Noah is in bed. It is his bedtime, but he was of indubitable help with this. Anyway, more puzzles that require syncing up in order to solve coming in the future. Thanks for watching.